I Am That. Talks with Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. Chapter 91. Pleasure and Happiness. You are quite satisfied with pleasures. There is no room for happiness. Empty your cup and clean it. It cannot be filled otherwise. Others can give you pleasure, but never happiness. Questioner. A friend of mine, a young man of about 25, was told that he is suffering from an incurable heart disease. He wrote to me that instead of slow death, he preferred suicide. I replied that a disease incurable by Western medicine may be cured in some other way. There are yogic powers that can bring almost instantaneous changes in the human body. Effects of repeated fasting also verge on the miraculous. I wrote to him not to be in a hurry to die, rather to give a trial to other approaches. There is a yogi living not far from Bombay who possesses some miraculous powers. He has specialized in the control of the vital forces governing the body. I met some of his disciples and sent through them to the yogi my friend's letter and photo. Let us see what happens. Maharaj. Yes, miracles often take place, but there must be the will to live. Without it, the miracle will not happen. Questioner. Can such a desire be instilled? Maharaj. Superficial desire, yes, but it will wear out. Fundamentally, nobody can compel another to live. Besides, there have been cultures in which suicide had its acknowledged and respected place. Questioner. Is it not obligatory to live out one's natural span of life? Maharaj. Natural, spontaneous, easy, yes. But disease and suffering are not natural. There is noble virtue in unshakable endurance of whatever comes, but there is also dignity in the refusal of meaningless torture and humiliation. Questioner. I was given a book written by Asita. He describes in it many of his strange, even amazing experiences. According to him, the way of a true sadhaka ends with him meeting his guru and surrendering to him body, mind, and heart. Henceforth, the guru takes over and becomes responsible for even the smallest events in the disciple's life until the two become one. One may call it realization through identification. The disciple is taken over by a power he cannot control nor resist, and feels as helpless as a leaf in a storm. The only thing that keeps him safe from madness and death is his faith in the love and power of his guru. Maharaj. Every teacher teaches according to his own experience. Experience is shaped by belief, and belief is shaped by experience. Even the guru is shaped by the disciple to his own image. It is the disciple that makes the guru great. Once the guru is seen to be the agent of a liberating power which works both from within and without, wholehearted surrender becomes natural and easy. Just as a man gripped by pain puts himself completely in the hands of a surgeon, so does the disciple entrust himself without reservation to his guru. It is quite natural to seek help when its need is felt acutely. But however powerful the guru may be, he should not impose his will on the disciple. On the other hand, a disciple that distrusts and hesitates is bound to remain unfulfilled, though through through no fault of his guru. Questioner. What happens then? Maharaj. Life teaches where all else fail. But the lessons of life take a long time to come. Much delay and trouble is saved by trusting and obeying. But such trust comes only when indifference and restlessness give way to clarity and peace. A man who holds himself in low esteem will not be able to trust himself nor anybody else. Therefore, in the beginning, the teacher tries his best to reassure the disciple as to his high origin, noble nature, and glorious destiny. He relates to him the experiences of some saints as well as his own, instilling confidence in himself and in his infinite possibilities. When self-confidence and trust in the teacher come together, rapid and far-reaching changes in the disciple's character and life can take place. Questioner. I may not want to change. Life is good enough as it is. Maharaj. You say so because you have not seen how painful the life you live is. You are like a child sleeping with a lollipop in its mouth. You may feel happy for a moment by being totally self-centered, but it is enough to have a good look at human faces to perceive the universality of suffering. Even your own happiness is so vulnerable and short-lived, at the mercy of a bank crash or a stomach ulcer. It is just a moment of respite, a mere gap between two sorrows. Real happiness is not vulnerable because it does not depend on circumstances. Questioner. Are you talking from your own experiences? Are you too unhappy? Maharaj. I have no personal problems, but the world is full of living beings whose lives are squeezed between fear and craving. They are like the cattle driven to the slaughterhouse, jumping and frisky, carefree and happy, yet dead and skinned within an hour. You say you are happy. Are you really happy, or are you merely trying to convince yourself? Look at yourself fearlessly, and you will at once realize that your happiness depends on conditions and circumstances. Hence, it is momentary, not real. Real happiness flows from within. Questioner. Of what use is your happiness to me? It does not make me happy. Maharaj. You can have the whole of it and more for the mere asking, but you do not ask. You don't seem to want it. Questioner. Why do you say so? I do want to be happy. Maharaj. You are quite satisfied with pleasures. There is no room for happiness. Empty your cup and clean it. It will not be filled otherwise. Others can give you pleasure, but not happiness. Questioner. A chain of pleasurable events is good enough. Maharaj. Soon it ends in pain, if not in disaster. What is yoga after all but seeking lasting happiness within? Questioner. You can speak only for the East. In the West, conditions are different, and what you say does not apply. Maharaj. There is no East or West in sorrow or fear. The problem is universal, suffering and the ending of suffering. The cause of suffering is dependence, and independence is the remedy. Yoga is the science and the art of self-liberation through self-understanding. Questioner. I do not think I'm fit for yoga. Maharaj. What else are you fit for? All your coming and going, seeking pleasure, loving and hating, all this shows that you struggle against limitations, self-imposed or accepted. In your ignorance, You make mistakes and cause pain to yourself and others, but the urge is there and shall not be denied. The same urge that seeks birth, happiness, and death shall seek understanding and liberation. It is like a spark in a cargo of cotton. You may now know about it, but sooner or later the ship will burst into flames. Liberation is a natural process and in the long run inevitable, but it is within your power to bring it into the now. Questioner: then why are there so few liberated people in the world? Maharaj: in a forest, only some of the trees are in full bloom at a given moment, yet every one will have its turn. Sooner or later, your physical and mental resources will come to an end. What will you do then? Despair? All right, despair. You will get tired of despairing and begin to question. At that moment, you will be fit for conscious yoga. Questioner: I find all this seeking and brooding most unnatural. Maharaj: yours is the naturalness of a born cripple. You may be unaware, but it does not make you normal. What it means to be natural or normal you do not know, nor do you know that you do not know. At present, you are drifting and therefore in danger, for to a drifter, at any moment anything may happen. It would be better to wake up and see your situation, that you are, you know. What you are, you don't know. Find out what you are. Questioner: why is there so much suffering in the world? Maharaj: selfishness is the cause of suffering. There is no other cause. Questioner: I understood that suffering is inherent in limitation. Maharaj: differences and distinctions are not the causes of sorrow. Unity in diversity is natural and good. It is only with separateness and self-seeking that real suffering appears in the world. I am that. Talks with Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, Chapter 92. Go beyond the I am the body idea. Go beyond the I am the body idea, and you will find that space and time are in you, and not you in space and time. Once you have understood this, the main obstacle to realization is removed. Questioner: we are like animals running about in vain pursuits, and there seems to be no end to it. Is there a way out? Maharaj: many ways will be offered to you, which will but take you round and bring you back to the starting point. First realize that your problem exists in your waking state only. However painful it is, you are able to forget it altogether when you go to sleep. When you are awake, you are conscious. When you are asleep, you are only alive. Consciousness and life, both you may call God, but you are beyond both, beyond God, beyond being and not being. What prevents you from knowing yourself as all and beyond all is the mind, which is based on memory. It has power over you as long as you trust it. Don't struggle with it, just disregard it. Deprived of attention, it will slow down and reveal the mechanism of its working. Once you know its nature and purpose, you will not allow it to create imaginary problems. Questioner: surely, not all problems are imaginary. There are real problems. Maharaj: what problems can there be which the mind did not create? Life and death do not create problems. Pains and pleasures come and go, experienced and forgotten. It is memory and anticipation that create problems of attainment or avoidance, colored by like and dislike. Truth and love are man's real nature, and mind and heart are the means of its expression. Questioner: how does one bring the mind under control, and also the heart, which does not know what it wants? Maharaj: they cannot work in darkness. They need the light of pure awareness to function rightly. All effort at control will merely subject them to the dictates of memory. Memory is a good servant, but a bad master. It effectively prevents discovery. There is no place for effort in reality. It is selfishness, due to a self-identification with the body. That is the main problem and the cause of all other problems. And selfishness cannot be removed by effort, only by clear insight into its causes and effects. Effort is a sign of conflict between incompatible desires. They should be seen as they are, then only will they dissolve. Questioner: and what remains? Maharaj: that which cannot change remains. The great peace, the deep silence, and the hidden beauty of reality remain. While it cannot be conveyed through words, it is waiting for you to experience for yourself. Questioner: must not one be fit and eligible for realization? Our nature is animal to the core. Unless it is conquered, how can we hope for reality to dawn? Maharaj: leave the animal alone. Just remember what you are. Use every incident of the day to remind you that without you as the witness, there would be neither animal nor God. Understand that you are both the essence and the substance of all there is, and remain firm in your understanding. Questioner: is understanding enough? Don't I need more tangible proof? Maharaj: it is your understanding that will decide about the validity of proofs. But what more tangible proof do you need than your own existence? Wherever you go, you find yourself. However far you reach out in time, you are there. Questioner: obviously, I am not all-pervading and eternal. I am only here and now. Maharaj: good enough. And good enough. The here is everywhere, and the now always. Go beyond the I am the body idea, and you will find that space and time are in you, and not you in space and time. Once you have understood this, the main obstacles to realization is removed. Questioner: what is the realization which is beyond understanding? Questioner: imagine a dense forest full of tigers and you in a strong steel cage. Knowing that you are well protected by the cage, you watch the tigers fearlessly. Next, you find the tigers in the cage and yourself roaming about in the jungle. Last, the cage disappears and you ride the tigers. Questioner: I attended one of the group meditation sessions held recently in Bombay and witnessed a frenzy and self-abandon of the participants. Why do people go for such things? Maharaj: these are all inventions of a restless mind pandering to people in search of sensations. Some of them help the unconscious to disgorge suppressed memories and longings, and to that extent they provide relief. But ultimately, they leave the practitioner where he was, or worse. Questioner: I have read recently a book by a yogi on his experiences in meditation. It is full of visions and sounds, colors and melodies, quite a display of most gorgeous entertainment. By the end, they all faded out, and only the feeling of utter fearlessness remained. No wonder a man who passed through all these experiences unscathed are not afraid of anything. Yet I was wondering, of what use is such a book to me? Such a book to me, Maharaj. Of no use. Probably since it does not attract you, others may be impressed. Some people defer. Let me say that again. Of no use. Probably since it does not attract you, others may be impressed. People defer, but all are faced with the fact of their own existence. I am is the ultimate fact. Who am I is the ultimate question to which everybody must find an answer. Questioner. The same answer? Maharaj. The same in essence, varied in expression. Each seeker accepts or invents a method which suits him, applies it to himself with some earnestness and effort, obtains results according to his temperament and expectations, casts them into the mold of words, builds them into a system, establishes a tradition, and begins to admit others into his school of yoga. It is all built on memory and imagination. No such school is valueless nor indispensable. In each one can progress up to the point when all desire for progress must be abandoned to make further progress possible. Then all schools are given up, all effort ceases. In solitude and darkness, the last step is made, which ends ignorance and fear forever. The true teacher, however, will not imprison his disciple in a prescribed set of ideas, feelings, and actions. On the contrary, he will show him patiently the need to be free from all ideas and set patterns of behavior, to be vigilant and earnest and go with life wherever it takes him, not to enjoy or suffer, but to understand and learn. Under the right teacher, the disciple learns to learn, not to remember and obey. Satsang, the company of noble, does not mold, it liberates. Beware of all that makes you dependent. Most of the so-called surrenders to the Guru end in disappointment, if not in tragedy. Fortunately, an earnest seeker will disentangle himself in time, the wiser for the experience. Questioner. Surely, self-surrender has its value. Maharaj. Self-surrender is the surrender of all self-concern. It cannot be done. It happens when you realize your true nature. Verbal self-surrender, even when accompanied by feeling, is of little value and breaks down under stress. At best, it shows an aspiration, not an actual fact. Questioner. In the Rig Veda, there is mention of the Ati Yoga, the primordial yoga consisting of the marriage of prajna and prana, which, as I understand, means the bringing together of wisdom and life. Would you say it also means the union of dharma and karma, righteousness and action? Maharaj. Yes, provided by righteousness you mean harmony with one's true nature, and by action you mean only unselfish and desireless action. In Ati Yoga, life itself is the guru and the mind is the disciple. The mind attends to life. It does not dictate. Life flows naturally and effortlessly in the mind, and the mind removes the obstacles to its even flow. Questioner. Is not life by its very nature repetitive? Will not following life lead to stagnation? Maharaj, by itself, life is immensely creative. A seed in course of time becomes a forest. The mind is like a forester, protecting and regulating the immense vital urge of existence. Questioner, seen as the service of life by the mind, the Ati Yoga is a perfect democracy. Everyone is engaged in living a life to his best capacity and knowledge. Everyone is a disciple of the same Guru. Maharaj, you may say so. It may be so, potentially, but unless life is loved and trusted, followed with eagerness and zest, it would be fanciful to talk of yoga, which is a movement in consciousness, awareness in action. Questioner, once I watched a mountain stream flowing between boulders. At each boulder, the commotion was different according to the shape and size of the boulder. Is not every person a mere commotion over a body, while life is one and eternal? Maharaj, the commotion and the water are not separate. It is the disturbance that makes you aware of water. Consciousness is always of movement, of change. There can be no such thing as changeless consciousness. Changelessness wipes out consciousness immediately. A man deprived of outer and inner sensations blanks out or goes beyond consciousness and unconsciousness into the birthless and deathless state. Only when spirit and matter come together is consciousness born. Questioner, are they one or two? Maharaj, it depends on the words you use. They are one, two, or three. On investigation, the three becomes two and the two becomes one. Take the simile of face, mirror, and image. Any two of them presuppose the third, which unites the two. In sadhana, you see the three as two until you realize the two as one. As long as you are engrossed in the world, you are unable to know yourself. To know yourself, turn your attention away from the world and turn it within. Questioner, I cannot destroy the world. Maharaj, there is no need. Just understand that what you see is not what is. Appearances will dissolve upon investigation and the underlying reality will come to the surface. You need not burn the house to get out of it. You just walk out. It is only when you cannot come and go freely that the house becomes a jail. I move in and out of consciousness easily and naturally, and therefore to me, the world is a home, not a prison. Questioner, but ultimately, is there a world or is there none? Maharaj, what you see is nothing but yourself. Call it what you like. It does not change the fact. Through the film of destiny, your own light depicts picture on the screen. You are the viewer, the light, the picture, and the screen. Even the film of destiny, paradha, is self-selected and self-imposed. The spirit is a sport and enjoys overcoming obstacles. The harder the task, the deeper and wider his self-realization.